Yeah, you did. All right. So again, yesterday we had worked through some of the issues. Was there any question in particular that someone's like, I would like help on this particular problem? Let's look at 15. All right. So solving the right triangle is one of the most important things we do. If you can do number 15, then you have a pretty good idea of what is going on. All right. So everybody take a look at number 15. Now, I am missing side RS. Am I agree with that? Yeah. So that's going to be real easy to solve because we can just use what? Yeah, just Pythagorean theorem. Now, listen, again, we're going to practice doing it this way, all right? Because I really would like for this to kind of be mental math. All right, so let me show you this. 6 is what? 3 times 2. 9 is what? 3 times 3. So RS has to be 3 times something, right? And because it has a common 3 here and a common 3, 9 minus 4 is what? So it's the square root of 5. 3 radical 5. Any questions? Okay, so let's review that. I'm glad you asked. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. C is 3. B is 2. We're missing A. Okay? Good mental math. Please look at that. All right? Now, does everybody see how much easier it is to do without that times 3? Everybody agree? So now I know that RS is 3 radical 5. Everybody okay with that? What? Well, what's radical 45? Brilliant. All right, now I'm missing angle T. All right, so now someone explain to me how I can find angle T. Go, Parker. Cosine of T. Now this is the important part, guys, which is something you should have little issue with. Cosine of T is equal to what? 6 over 9. Beautiful. Everybody take a look at that. Make sure you understand that. Could I have done sine? Yep. I just would have been using 3 radical 5. So we want to make it easy on ourselves. Could I have used tangent? Yeah, doesn't matter. They're all going to give you the same answer. So when you're looking for an angle, I have to find or have to use what on my calculator? Inverse, right? You're using inverse. So you would say T is equal to the inverse cosine of 6 over 9. And what's the inverse cosine of 6 over 9? Somebody tell me. It's roughly 48 degrees. Is that accurate? So we're going to put 48 degrees here, roughly. Now, do I have to use trig to find R? No, because R and T are always going to be what? Complementary. But yes, you're right. R, S, and T are 180. But because S is 90 degrees, that means R plus T have to be 90. Does everybody agree with that? So we know that R is roughly about what? 42. Now, if you wanted to do trig, let's just double check our work. If I wanted to find R, we could say the sine of R is equal to 6 over 9. So now everybody do the inverse sine of 6 over 9. Tell me what that is. 41. There we go, roughly 42. All right. Now is anybody having trouble with their calculator? All right, so the important thing to, yes, yeah, yep, it's all right. Let me see your calculator. Are the batteries in? I'll see if I can fix it. Sometimes I can figure out. Got it. All right. Now moving forward. All right, today we're just going to be kind of responsible for doing the evens, but I kind of want to help you with some of these problems. So someone look around on this page, find something on here you'd like me to give you, to help you with. Yes, sir. Let's look at 21. Okay, so here we go. Now, these are all just proportions, right? So things are going to cancel out. All right. Now, personally, I think this is important. So I'm going to draw another triangle over here. And I want everybody to see if you understand. Try to listen to me now for a second. All right, so I can try to show you something. All right. To me, it's annoying having to write all the fractions and then reduce all the fractions. So what I try to do is I try to reduce the fractions first. So I'm going to divide by 2 radical 2. I'm going to divide by 2 radical 2, and I'm going to divide by 2 radical 2. See that? Do you have to do that, guys? No. It just, to me, it was annoying having to reduce fractions. So I reduced the fraction first on the triangle. So 2 radical 2 divided by 2 radical 2. So this side is actually a 1. The hypotenuse would just be what? 2. And then this over here would just be radical 3. Everybody agree with that now? All right, now, to me, look how much easier that is. So that's J, that's K, that's L. So now if I did the sine of J, cosine J, tangent of J. All right, somebody help me out. What's the sine of J? Go. Yep, radical 3 over 2. Cosine J. 1/2. Tangent J. Radical 3. You can say radical 3 over 1 if you want. Then we're just looking at the other ones. So now we're going to do sine of L, cosine L, tangent of L. All right, somebody tell me what the sine of L is. 1/2 cosine L. Radical 3 over 2. Tangent of L. 1 over radical 3. But you're not allowed to have radicals in the denominator. So this is reviewing radicals. This is a good review of radicals. No radicals in the denominator. So you have to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 3. So you're going to multiply by square root of 3, square root of 3. That's why it's square root of 3 over 3. All right. Again, you can see if you didn't reduce the fraction first, you get the same answer. It's just annoying. You have to reduce the fractions continuously. All right, so I like to look at every triangle and see if I can divide out a common factor. All right. Somebody else now. What else do we want to do, guys? Again, I think this is really, really important. All right, go. Let's look at 53. Yay, good job. All right, so we're going to find the perimeter. Now, do we understand the perimeter just means what? The distance around the triangle, right? So all we have to do is find all 3 sides. Do you agree with that? All right. So now, wait a minute. I was going to do 52. 53 is really easy. The reason why I say 53 is really easy is because, and again, we did this before the break, so I understand you forgot. It's a 45, 45, 90 triangle, correct? So how, does anybody remember how to get from the hypotenuse to the leg? What was it?
You divide by radical 2.
Thank you very much. You're just dividing by radical 2. Exactly. Can you use trig now? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. For those of you guys who don't like the formulas for the 30, 60, 90, does it really matter that you memorize those now? Not if you understand what? The trig. If you understand the trig, you don't need to know the 30, 60, 90 triangle. So I understand that. All right? But we know to go from the hypotenuse to the leg, we divide by radical 2. So that's going to be 3.5 divided by radical 2. But we're going to go ahead and say that's 3.5 radical 2 over 2, right? All right. Now, we don't really want to have a decimal and a fraction. So 3.5 is the same as 7 over 2. 7 over 2 divided by 2 is 7 over 4, right? So 7 radical 2 over 4 is that. Do you agree with that? And so this side is also 7 radical 2 over 4. And this is 7 over 2. Now we can add these two together. 7 radical 2 over 4 plus 7 radical 2 over 4 is, that's right, 14 radical 2 over 4. But then we reduce that to what? Yes, there you go. 7 radical 2 over 2 plus 7 over 2. That should be the perimeter. All right, now I'm not sure if the answer gave it as a decimal format, which is perfectly fine. All right. So if you want to, you can convert that to decimal and see that we're correct. But again, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's easy to use the 45, 45, 90 rules on that. Right? So let's just take a quick look at 52. All right, let's take a quick look at 52. All right. So all I have to do is find one of the other two sides, then I can just use what? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right, so let's find this missing side right there. All right, so somebody help me. What trig function am I going to be using? Tangent. Thank you very much. I like that. Tangent of 18 is equal to x over 12. Everybody good with that? Now again, I'm going to try to show you how to efficiently use your calculator again, so try to pay attention. All right? So what does x equal? Come on. Well, how do I solve this? Is it 12 over tangent 18? I think it's 12 times tangent 18, correct? Now, tell me what that is approximately. How much? So, we're going to say it's roughly 3.9. Now, listen to me. You don't want to round. Do not round. All right, because I want to find out what this is up here now, right? So we're going to call that y. So now, do you understand your answer that's on your calculator? Hit the square button. Plus 12 squared. Then you hit the equal. Then you take the square root of that answer. And so the hypotenuse was roughly what, guys? Somebody said 12.6. I'm not believing it until someone else tells me. Is that right? 12.6. Now remember, you're not letting someone else do the work. Make sure you're getting 12.6 on your calculator. Make sure you got 3.9 on your calculator. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Oh, because you did inverse. Right? Now again, let's review this real quick because I'm glad someone made this mistake also. Inverse sine, inverse cosine, and inverse tangent is used when you're trying to find an angle. All right? Tell me what? Say it. Come on. Speak up. So what we did was, on your calculator, the first thing I want you to do is do 12 tangent 18. All right? Now, on your calculator, hit the square button. Plus 12 squared. Enter. What'd you get? No, let him go. Let him go. Reed's got it. Now you have to do the square root. Now you have to do the square root of that. Yep. Welcome back, Miss Virginia. Feeling better? All right. All right. I don't know if you got a chance to. Good job. Thank you, Virginia. Good job, girl. So you're all caught up. Okay. So now that we have that, it's still asking for the perimeter. So the perimeter was approximately what? Somebody tell me.
3.9.
Yeah, but I want the answer. About 28.5. Right? About 28.5. Now look, I cannot emphasize to you, guys, you don't know if you don't know how to use your calculator until you try. And then if you're not getting the calculator answer, speak up so I can show you real quick. Anybody have any questions now with that perimeter? You're in the game now, right? It's easy. Very easy. All right. I don't think I asked you to do 47, 48 through. I don't think I did that. All right. Use a calculator to find the measure of angle T. So let's go to 40. Everybody go to 40. All right, someone tell me how to find angle T. Somebody tell me how to find. What trig function am I going to set up? Yes. Say it. Cosine of T is equal to what? Now, what can I do with the radical 2's? Well, actually, because there's a radical 2 on the top and a radical 2 on the bottom, I can just do what? Cancel them out, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So, basically, we just have cosine T is equal to 3 over 7. All right, now, how do we find the angle? How do we find the angle? What do we do? Inverse cosine. Inverse cosine. Remember, inverse is giving you the angle. Inverse is giving you the angle. All right, so T is roughly how many degrees here, guys? 64.6. Everybody get that? Somewhere around there, 64.6. All right, if I'm not mistaken, you guys sound like you got a pretty good grip of this. Everybody okay with it? All right, so then let's just take the rest of the period to answer the questions. All right, I think you're good. All right, I think you're good. All right, now I need you to do what with the answers, though? Please check your answers. You want to make sure you're doing them correctly. Double check. Double check. All right, anybody have any questions? Anybody looking at a problem saying, I'd like you to do that one? All right, guys, get to work. Use your time wisely. Try to get through the homework so you have nothing tonight. Good job today, man.